Man, it'll drop from 35 to 11 real quick without that reminder, huh?
We're glad you guys are here. Welcome, welcome.
Should I do a late reminder?
Yeah.
Man,
Okay,
I knew I should have
so
did that during the
I'm going to give
blitz.
you guys a little thing to do in the chat, if you don't mind, till we get started. Doug's going to send out a reminder.
I'm also going to set a reminder to send myself a reminder to do the reminder from now on.
Our internet is unstable. Are we freezing? For you guys? No? Okay, good. Just let us know.
Katie Zitzman in the house.
What's up?
Got your puppy close by? Let's see him.
He's under the couch sleeping.
Okay.
I think one of the top 3 purchases is puppy, trampoline, weights.
I know, you guys need to show off your puppy.
I don't know where it is. That's probably a good thing.
I know, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so Lot wants a puppy. Just come by and use ours, Lot. We need some puppy babysitters. That's a good thing. So welcome today. Hey, Kelly. All right. We've got some more people coming on. We've got a special, awesome guest who's going to share her story today. Such passion, but we're going to wait till there's more audience for you, Vella. Okay, so I would like you guys to put in the chat 2 things. Okay? Everybody knows how to use the chat. Number 1, why are you taking Juice Plus? And number 2, why are you sharing Juice Plus?
I'm taking it because my sister Sonia said I had to. And and I'm sharing it because she said I had to also.
Well, I'm sure things have changed since then. So why don't we talk about why are you taking
I am answering the mountain climbing.
and why are you sharing Juice Plus currently? Put it in the chat, guys. So we're currently putting in the chat, why are you taking Juice Plus? And why are you sharing? Okay, Jennifer says, I'm taking Juice Plus because my blood work is better now at 37 than it was at 30. I'm sharing Juice Plus because I love the idea of building my own business around health. Awesome. Trisha, I'm taking Juice Plus because I don't have enough veggies. Please help me bridge the gap. Michelle, I take Juice Plus because I don't get nearly enough nutrients from the food I eat every day. Annette, for my health. Cynthia, I take Juice Plus. There's people on Facebook too who will be watching, and you can write replay if you're watching in the comments. I take Juice because my life insurance. Ooh, I want others to get healthy too. That's why she shared us. So in the chat, we're putting why are we taking Juice Plus and why are we sharing Juice Plus. Those are 2 things that you can focus on when sharing your story. And also, those are the 2 questions I ask a new person because that helps them to come up with their story. Okay, Katie, take Juice Plus because I'm too scared to go a day without it. Changed my health dramatically after being sick for over 3 years. Issues and one thing. Okay, Katie, you weren't on our last Lunch and Learn. We gotta work on that. That's the one thing that healed me. Okay, we're gonna have to tone that down a little bit. Sharing it with others. We know that, but okay, this is what we're gonna work on. Anyway, one thing that healed me, sharing it with others, and hopefully help those like me, and I know everyone can benefit from it. Okay, Bella to live. Michelle shares Juice Plus because she feels everyone needs to know there's an easy way to get a lot of nutrition in the diet every day. Okay, and you guys can read the rest. But answer, why are you taking Juice Plus? Why are you sharing Juice Plus? Okay, so I'm taking Juice Plus. It's helped me get off my allergy shots. Okay, so the other day we talked about compliance and just it's a real litigious or real FTC time. And so we want to just tone down our stories a little bit and focus on the research or why or what we hope to achieve. Or like Michelle said, it's bridging the gap. We don't get enough fruits
Well,
and
let's give an
vegetables.
example. If Patrick
Yeah, the
knows
allergies.
that his allergies are better since he started taking Juice Plus, I bet you if you didn't take Juice Plus, but you ate a ton of fruits and vegetables, your allergies would be better. Would you agree with that? Yeah. So what you could say, that comes back to the fact that you take Juice Plus because it's the only way that you found that you could get a massive amounts of fruits and vegetables in your body each day, and you get the health benefits of that.
And your allergies have been improved. We know the difference, but
You can say improved?
is a better, yeah.
Okay.
Improved, or I've made other simple changes, and now it's no longer an issue. You could say something like that, you know, but healing, no longer any absolutes is just something that we learned. You know, we're all learning, and we're just going with the times. Right now, the times are that we need to be not super careful. They don't want you to stop sharing. They don't want you to stop sharing your stories. They just want you to not have absolutes, okay? So this is great. And so they said, focus on your why. Like as far as the business, Doug and I might say, well, the Juice Plus business has helped pay for this, that, and the other. Or we could say why we still do it. What are our goals for the future? We'd like to maintain our quality of life that we have right now. That's a good why for us. Or if it's a new person, why am I doing this business? I want to, you know, pay for my car insurance. I want to help contribute to the family's budget. Just not so black and white, I guess. I don't know what to say about that, or not so absolute.
Like if you're talking to somebody about, you know, why, and you're talking to them about the business, don't say things like, you know, wouldn't it be great to make an extra $500 or $1,000 a month? Well, that's something we usually say, but we shouldn't. You could just say, and the same thing with fruits and vegetables. I mean, you know, fruits and vegetables are going to have a certain effect. You can say, wouldn't it be great to build a business on the side, you know, doing it from home?
Supplemental income.
Some supplemental income. I mean, you can let their minds go. They might think, they're probably going to think whatever makes them happy. If they think $300, they think it. If they think 3,000, they think it, you know? Same thing with nutrition, because if Patrick focuses on allergies, that's your story. But most people aren't struggling without allergies, you know? So you don't want to limit yourself just by showing what you are excited about. So you want to show your kind of a generic excitement about the product and business.
You feel better, you know, more energy, not as drained, have less health issues, a little more general.
It's a little frustrating. I mean, if we're just honest and transparent, right? Because you feel like you're not allowed to say what you kind of know. But I think it's best in this environment. I mean, it's kind of like if you live in South Florida, you'd understand about hurricanes. When there's a hurricane, and you know how when there's a hurricane, you'll see every once in a while, like somebody on the side of the road with like a pallet of water bottles, and they're selling a case of water for $10. And you can't find water in any of the stores. Well, all of us that live down here, you know, the thing is, honestly, we'll buy that case of water for $10, but we'll also call the police. So, because you can't do that. It's against the law because you're taking advantage of a situation. So what the FTC is doing right now, they think they're helping citizens by really cracking down on you know, whether it's COVID and us making promises about building an immune system, we got to be careful. Whether it's about people being out of work and needing money, there are people out there that are saying things like, sign up with me and you'll make $1 million, you know, and it's like, you know, it's a scam or something. So they go after everybody that's saying anything. So we just got to be careful.
Yeah. So like for me, you know, telling my story about having benefits from home, making thousands of dollars a month, I have to tone that down because the company really wants us to stick with like $500 a month. You know, that's the average person who might be attracted to the business, but also it's not over promising, you know. Or you could just say supplemental income. And they, like I was saying, if you ask them, you know, what would some supplemental income do for you? Or would you like some supplemental income in your life.
So when Sharon met Michelle in the parking lot at LA Fitness, Michelle, I bet you didn't sign up because Sharon said, I make thousands of dollars. You were the right person at the right time. You were looking for something, and Sharon had something, and you liked her energy, and everything was cool, and you decided to try the business and try the products. It wasn't because she made some crazy promise or something. So I think sometimes we do that because we think we need to. We need to
Right, we don't need
overpromise.
to.
It's better to underpromise and overdeliver.
When I started, I thought it was like coupon money. Rebate my coupon money, you know, that you can put in a little index box and use for whatever came along. I mean, that's how I grew up, little index box categories. But keep that in mind. Nobody's really expecting to make thousands of dollars or millions of dollars from this business. Really, they're attracted to our message. Okay, so we're going to go to Vella next. And we
I'm
thank
biting my tongue. I'm biting my tongue so hard it's bleeding all over the place.
okay, Nalani, you want to
No, well, yeah. Express your.
I can say. That's all I could say.
You could vent.
Because there are people who want to make a decent income, and $500 a month is not a decent income.
No, but we're not even supposed to say $500 a month.
I know. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that's okay because you should say only positive things when other people are around. So
Well, let me ask you this. So,
I'll
Nalani,
swallow the blood.
but no, but if I'm talking to you about the business and I don't make a promise of a dollar amount, you might say to me, well, how much can I make with this anyway?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta include that there's work to it. I think that's also the
Yeah.
point. That if you do talk about
Right.
money, you have to talk about how many people really make that kind of money, how much
Mm-hmm.
goes into it, so they don't think it's just easy money. Also, not
Right.
because now they're out of a job that it's going to replace an income. So, you know, use your best judgment. We don't want you to feel, you know, like you have to hold back entirely.
Well, I don't think we should make promises anyway. Any kind of promise.
Disagree.
You can't make promises. Really.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you out or anything, but Melissa, I disagree that if it's not okay to say 500 or 1,000 a month, it's no different to say $50 to $100 a month. I mean,
Exactly.
if Nalani, if you approach me and I have a 6-figure job and you say I
Mhm.
make 500 to $1,000 a month, it's like I don't care about $1,000 a month. I'm not going to join
Exactly.
the business for that. So I don't
Exactly.
think any dollar amount is going to help you sell the business, and certainly
Right.
$50 a month isn't going to sell the business. No way.
Mhm.
So I think not saying a dollar amount at all leads people to just fill in the blank. Because I'm
Right.
like, I know somebody that I use this technique. We won't mention names, but you know who this is.
Oh, gosh.
If we don't mention dollar amounts, and then they say, and if you ask that question in the coaching, like, well, how much money, would be a significant amount for you? Well, somebody we know said, well, I probably need to do like 20 grand a month to make it really worthwhile. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, we got some work to do, but let's think about it. This is a person with a family that has a home, that has mortgages, that is used to making, $300,000 a year or something. Some people make $300,000 a year.
I think they can learn over time how they can get there. I think mostly this is social media and,
Okay.
and presentations,
Mhm.
If they want to learn more, then we can show them the compensation plan or whatever. But I think just that initial, trying to get people in by what we say, we've got to be careful.
Right.
Because,
Right. True.
That's all. And
Thank you.
the compensate or what is the name of it now? The compensation plan.
Yeah.
We used to call it marketing plan. The compensation plan, they'll learn it, as they get into our community. It's just we want to,
And we are
cognizant of
we're
that.
talking about this longer than we probably need
Should.
to
Yeah,
or
we don't need
should. This is not like this is not what it's about right now.
No.
We're literally just killing time just now. But now we have 33 people and we want to hear from them.
We're ready. Sorry, Vella, to make you wait. We appreciate
That's
it.
just some chit chat.
She's phenomenal. So it's worth the wait. Thank you so much, Vella. You take it away.
Hello, everyone. How you guys are doing today? Thank you for the platform, Sharon, and I thank you all for being part of my life. This community has been so good to me, and I am privileged. When I say I'm privileged to be part of you guys. And you know, you look at me and you see a person and you think that everything is all right. You think that I have no quarrels, no worries. But do you see my scars? Do you see the 10-inch scar on my chest? Do you see the scar on my carotid? Or the surgeries I had? Or the gap they had to take the vein out of my body? You see my story. It's like everybody's story, every woman's story. We live life, we go about life and think we're superwoman, and we try to accomplish a lot. But are we truly taking care of our lives? Are we taking time to assess our lives? And really, you know, you have to ask yourself, who's coming to your rescue? Who is going to be that superwoman for you? So as I speak, I want you guys to examine your life and have my life just be an example so that you don't have to live life the way I do. And I talk a lot about my scars. You see, my scars tell a story. It tells the story of my battles, but most of all, my victories, and coming to be the person who I am, because ultimately, my scars define me. And I understand that. My journey started in 2014. I'm still a wife, a mother, a student, doing everything for everyone. And I was at work one day, going about business, and I was always on the go. You know, we as women, we multitask and we make it work somehow. But life stood still. I was having a headache. I wasn't paying attention to the signs, the warning signs or nothing, but I had this major headache and I told my boss I wanted to go home. And so I did that. I went home and I went to sleep. And immediately when my daughter came home at 3 o'clock, I jumped up because I was late. I was behind schedule. I had to cook for my husband. I had to get my son prepared for soccer practice, and I had a test to take at school. And so she noticed something was weird. She says, Mom, you're talking funny, because I'm multitasking. I'm in the kitchen, pots and pans, and I'm asking her how her day is going, multitasking, right? And so she says, Mom, you sound funny. So she had the no wits to call my sister. She says, Mom, something's going on. And I'm talking, I'm like, I'm fine. So she called the EMS. And they came and they took my blood pressure, did some other work. And the guy, he didn't even want to tell me how high my blood pressure was. He told me, he says, we have to go. I'm like, nope, I am not going. I didn't go. Because guess what? I was worried because I was behind schedule. And I didn't plan for this. And so I went back to bed, and I had like an hour before I had to hop up to go to school. And my husband came home, and I got up starting to get ready to go to class. And my foot wouldn't move. I'm like, something's weird. And my husband says, nope, we're going to the hospital. And so he pulled me to the hospital, and I'm upset. I'm like, gee, I'm upset. I studied, I have a test to take, and this is not part of my plan. And when I got to the hospital, when I went in, and the nurse said, possible stroke, my life stood still. And I'm like, what does all this mean? And, you know, the doctor's coming in, they're putting all type of stuff on me. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But I was put in a corner for a reason. And my sister was my advocate. And about 2 weeks later, I was in hospital, just, you know, pumping me all kind of stuff to get my blood control, get my arteries to disseminate what was going on to my brain, because I had a slow bleed, which is ischemic attack in my brain. And I went to rehab, and it was surreal. Carrie, I'm 41 years old, a wife, a mother. And you think of rehab, you know, a place for elderly people or people who are sick. I didn't have this in my plan. This is not part of the deal. So I spent 2.5 weeks, I think, in rehab, learning how to move, physical therapy, PT, cognitive, everything. It was a schedule. And every night in rehab, I cried because this is not part of my plan. So I came out, I did what I needed to do. I came home to a nurse and my children, even the basic needs that we take for granted, brushing our teeth, combing our hair, getting out of bed. I'm here 41 years old and I couldn't do anything for me. And it was surreal. You know, for a person who's always in control, having to relinquish control, it was hard. You know, talk about how, you know, you're sick and the nights last long. They do last long, but, you know, joy comes in the morning. I look forward to waking up. I look forward to the day that I can see the sunrise. And I held on to that. And I was at sleep one day. It was like probably 2 weeks after I came home because I had PT at home. I'm still trying to recover. They came home to a wheelchair and a walker, and I'm having PT at home and just assessing and just feeling depressed, trying to figure out what was going on. And then at night, it was probably 11 o'clock at night, I started having these thumps, these pain. It felt like lightning bolt. It would come and it would go, and it was not in one place. It was in my back. And I'm like, wow, it's weird. It would be shock. It was like a shock. It came and went. And I'm like, what's going on? I woke my husband up, something's going on, because this was weird. And he took me to the hospital. And the doctor who saw me like 2 months ago was there. And she's like, why is she back? She had a stroke, and why is she back? So they took me in and they started doing all type of tests. Machines are going off. And ultimately they did an echo. And then it got real, because I had to actually be transferred to Broward General stat immediately, because the echocardiogram showed some myopathy or some whatever was going on within my heart. And so they took me to North Broward immediately. And I was given a catheterization on a cath lab, and the procedure was going well. It was fine. I'm like, I'm going to get out. I have things to do. I have all this information, this test that I studied for. And I'm like, I need to get back to me. And I wouldn't forget it, because the test went by really fast. And afterward, a doctor came in. 3 doctors actually came in. And I would never forget this doctor's name. His name is Dr. Cantanella. He said, hi, my name is Dr. Cantanella, and I'm the thoracic surgeon. And I stopped. I'm like, wait a second. And he started talking. I couldn't understand. It was like my world was spinning, because he was saying all this stuff that they're going to have to do. And they saw blockage. And I was like, wow, it was surreal. I looked into my husband's eye, and I'm like, how do I fix this? How did I get here? And my widowmaker, if you guys know what that is, you hear about a Hollywood heart attack when a person just grabbed their clutch and they die. My widowmaker was 99% block, which meant I had to have immediate intervention, because I could have bleed out within the space of a few minutes. This how real my situation got. Here I am, 41 years old, going about life, taking care of everybody, but not assessing my life and having time for self-care, because I know as a woman, as a wife, a mother, it felt selfish to me to care for myself. Even to go to the bathroom and be left alone, it kind of felt weird, because I'm always the caretaker. We are the caretaker of everyone. I had to have immediate open heart surgery. Not only 1, 2, 3, a bypass, which meant I was on a heart and lung machine for 9 hours, where they had to actually put me on, like I said, heart lung machine, stop my heart from beating, to go in to fix the blockage that was so messed up. And to wake up in ICU, I'm not sure the day or the time, but I woke up to all type of machines, all type of lights, and I was like, wow, I wouldn't wish that on one person. And I did what I needed to do. It was excruciating. The pain was unbearable. And I came home to silence. I came home to assess my life. Actually, I came home to die, because I thought that I was going to die in my sleep. My situation went from bad to worse, and I was not in control. I couldn't understand what was going on, but all I did was focus on the light, God, and assess my life and figure out what was going on. Like I said, I was depressed. I was home doing nothing, feeling pity for myself. And I started to just try, I was like, okay, I went to a doctor one day, a cardiologist. He told me, he says, we've done all the interventions we can do. Now you can go home and take your meds, because we've done all we can do. And that night I had to watch my son's game, because he was in a championship, on FaceTime. And I'm like, no, there is more to life than this. Why am I preparing my funeral and making arrangements? No, I want to live. So I started looking on the website. I started Facebook. I started groups. I started going to seminars and just learning how to take control. Because you see, I gave up my control when I took care of everybody except myself. So I was selfish. Heck, yes, I was. I started to take care of me and understand. And Lisa, my sister-in-law, invited me to Michelle's house where T actually invited her. And I met them and they were talking about fruits and vegetables. Now at this point, I would try anything that would bring me back to a sense of who I was. So I was doing the raw, I was doing the juicing, I was trying everything. And I'm like, what, fruits and vegetables? Oh, I can try this too. So I did. And I started, eating the fruits and vegetables. I started learning and I started doing. I started modeling behaviors because I see Michelle, I see T, I see Sonia, they're cooking, they're moving, they're active. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm with the right crew. So I started emulating what they're doing, modeling what they started doing. Because I'm like, no, I want to live. And how do I live? Because I didn't know. I was used to, my barbecue ribs and not exercising because my hair was cute. That's how it is. And I had to get real with myself and says, girlfriend, you're going to have to change a lot of stuff. Yes, I spent a lot of time speaking to myself in the mirror because I had to take that reality check. And I hope that we all do that because our life matter. And so I started learning, I started growing, I started walking. And when I started walking, Lisa can attest to this. I had a walker and I would just make it out to the front of my lawn just to see the sunrise in the morning. And gradually that walker became a chair. And I started taking a few steps. I started moving. I started going to the Juice Plus events. People were calling me. I was connected. I was plugged into the source. And I started growing. I felt like I was taking control. Now, having heart disease, coming from a stroke, it's not easy. And I tell people that I live in a defensive mode. That's why I think this is my life purpose, to let people know, hey, I was given a warning sign. And sometimes you get no warning. A stroke can disable you beyond recognition. A heart attack could be the end. So that's why when I speak and I tell you guys to know your numbers, or my platform, just growing and understanding, hey, I started learning about my numbers. Now, I was diabetic. I never knew what an A1C was. Doctors always tell me I lose 10 pounds when I went to the doctor. But you know what? I knew what my A1C was. I knew what my total cholesterol was. I knew what my BMI was. And guess what? I started to track those. I loved myself enough to put in the work to understand what my numbers meant to me. Now I know the numbers are a precursor for what's going on in your body. So it's important, especially dealing with diabetes. And that's why I speak mostly to my African-American community. We can look good on the outside, but it's the inside that's dying. And I say Juice Plus has bridged that gap with me learning of gaining independence to plugging into the system of growing, not only mentally, but physically also, because I'd say in this past 3 years, I am living, I'm thriving. Granted, my days sometimes are not so good, but I am glorified because now my bad days are not outweighing my good days. And I just thank God for the opportunity. And I have been given a platform. I am actually the American Heart and the ADA ambassador, where I tell my story, not only to myself, but to the masses. But you know what? It's that one person I want to reach. It's my sister. It's my friend. It's my family member that don't know, that needs to hear the message that we as women need to take care of ourselves. And as I speak as a woman, we have men on the line too. Ask your wife, ask your mother how they're doing. Tell them, take time out, assess, make that doctor's appointment, take accountability, make it a collaborative effect where you go to the doctors and understand and build a relationship. We only have one life. And guess what? My scars, they don't define me. They just tell a story. And my scars actually, there's purpose for pain, I was told. And my pain has become my platform. And I thank God for his grace and his glory. I thank God for the community. I am tapped into something that I can't let go of. It's given me help, and I can tap into, and as Sonia has taught me how to cook better. And I think the teacher has made the student has become the master, because I'm like in the overflow in the kitchen. I didn't know I had these talents, but guess what? I'm growing, I'm happier, I'm loving myself. So you see, these physical scars, they don't define me. They just tell a story of my battles, but mostly my victories. But most over, my mission in life is to help people. And I thank Juice Plus and everyone who's part of my life for just tapping into that source. Thank you, Sharon. If anybody have any questions, they can go ahead and ask.
Yeah, I want them to be able to talk. You guys unmute yourself one at a time and ask Vella questions. I don't think there's anything more important. That was amazing. And this is real life. This is where we need to get our passion from Vella, you know, and other people's stories and the reality.
First time I've ever heard her story. I am just absolutely just blown away. Congratulations. And I have a friend, a dear friend, who has high blood pressure and she has diabetes, and she is playing with the time bomb. Do you do three-way calls?
Most definitely. Like I said, this is my mission and my platform. Like I said, it's one person at a time, and I want to reach the masses. But yes, you can call me. Let's get connected in Facebook, because I do have a group and a platform on Facebook.
Hey, Vella, is it okay if we'll have a recording of this? We could edit this whole session down to just your story. And that might be an easy way for people to share your story with people they want to reach out to.
That's fine.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I will share it with her right away.
And also there are stories on ADA and American Heart Association and American Diabetes Association about my full story, and the Associated Press also.
Oh, well, maybe you could just share that link or two with us and we can forward that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Anyone else?
You on
Question?
Team Transformers?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great.
Elaine has a question in the chat. How many bypasses did you have?
I actually had a quadruple bypass, and I had to go back and have 3 revision surgeries because 4 of the graft veins failed. And graft they took an artery from my leg and they went ahead and bypassed my heart. So they had to go back and do 4 stenting procedures to fix the clog. Because in African Americans, sometimes scar tissue builds up because we're kind of resilient. So they had to go back into native veins to unclog. Because when I had the first procedure, there was way too much blockage to do just a vein or stent procedure. And I call myself a professional patient because I have to be. I know the lingo, I have to be. This is my life, and I love me, and I'm gonna learn.
I have a quick question. So after your procedure and your operations, did the doctors ever mention anything about changing your diet?
Absolutely not. Every time I went to the doctor, it was like lose 5 pounds. And that was it. There was absolutely, I had to look up Dr. Ornish, and Eckerstein actually got my plant-based certificate because I researched him. Thanks to Nina and T, I received a plant-based certificate because the information is there, but it's not accessible. And we have to be like the bullhorn as far as my page is always, let's get healthier, and especially in the Black community, you know, they talk about, it's more like the oils or the sugars. And it's like, you don't have to lose your authenticity, but realize you can modify your meals to fit a new you, because the foods nowadays is a problem, especially in my Black community. That's why I modify cooking a lot.
Can I ask one more thing?
Go ahead.
When you go back for your checkups, do the doctors say you're doing, I mean, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, you're doing amazing? Do they ask you, do they, you know, they look at your numbers?
Well, just to give you a recap, when I go to a new doctor, it's kind of amusing because he would do a double take. He would look at my chart, then he'd look at me and he's like, you look better in person than on paper. But yes, my numbers are getting where it needs to get, and every day Like I said, you know, dealing with heart disease, and there's certain stuff that can't be reversed. And I would tell you with my diabetes, I actually had, I had surgery in one of my eyes because I had a lot of bleeding. But I went to the doctor, and I actually, the one I did not have the surgery repaired itself. So the vision is back to 2020 in that eye that was not messed with, but the one I had the surgery in, it's not fixed. So you're able to repair by eating fruits and vegetables, which is so, it was so profound because the doctor's like, wow, it's, your vision is back to 2020 in one eye.
Something that you said kind of hit home to me, because you were saying you had to get selfish. And I think that's the problem with caretakers, and you know, whether they're husbands or wives of the family, you know, you just get so entrenched in, I got to take care of everything else, that you don't take care of yourself, and you're the only one that can. So I've been trying to change that way of thinking. I had to get selfish to find out what my problem even was, which of course was the sugar. I'm addicted to sugar, and I tried modification. I wanted it to work for all things in moderation, but it doesn't for me. You know, everybody's body's different. You got to find out what works, but it just causes so much damage, and we're not educated on that. And that's why I think I just love our Juice Plus family, because I'm learning so much, and it's changed my life. And my husband had a quadruple bypass too. So your story comes very near and dear to my heart. You're very encouraging. Thank you so much.
Okay. When you talk about the fact that you like sugars, you know, it's like, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And, you know, we talk about that one simple change, you know, just modify it to make it less, and take away, edit. Just don't just stop cold turkey, because it's not going to work. It's not a diet. You didn't get here yet. You know, it's like, it's a race that we have to finish. So just applaud yourself. You know, if you pass a sugar or you give up a cookie, applaud it, because that's a victory. It's in the small stuff is when we win.
So true, so true. But we need to know it first, and that's why hearing your story is.
What Vella mentioned, I want to make sure everybody gets the name. I put it in the chat. It's Dr. Dean Ornish. Dean Ornish has been doing research since the 80s, and as a doctor, he's been reversing heart disease and diabetes. So he has a lot of different books out. The latest one is called Undo It, and it's really good. And my mom and I are reading the book together right now, because it's basically, if you like the shred lifestyle, it's pretty similar to the shred, like living a lifestyle like that. But reading that book will give you all of the data, all of the background. It'll tell you stories like you're hearing from Vella. It's like hearing a Dean Ornish story, right? It's the victory stories are there, and he'll tell you why you need to make a change, what the changes should be, and then even have recipes and everything. So, I mean, I'm recommending that, but she's the expert. So, Bella, I would like you to either tell me if I'm correct, or if there's other things you recommend as like a single resource for somebody that maybe has a husband or a friend or a brother or a sister that needs an intervention. Is that a good resource?
It is. And also knowdiabetesbyheart.org, because, you know, diabetes is the gateway. And I went to, a few months ago, I went to the scientific session. This is where all cardiovascular doctors, scientists, and the whole industry gets together, and they project what's going to happen years. And diabetes is going to be a pandemic as far as people. So we have to, the urgency is today. And like I said, I'm coming from a place of a heart disease, and my body is not right. You know, there's certain things that I can't do. I can't go to concerts. I can't take long walks. But the urgency is, for me, letting you guys know that it starts now. You don't have to be in my position. That's why I want action, a call of action to understand. But Dean Ornish, definitely. Understanding the plant-based, drinking water, you know, just eliminating the sugars. Big time. So yes, Dean Ornish is definitely. And is it Eckerstein also? Eckerstein. He's from Cornell University. Yes, from Cornell. Yes, from Cornell University.
Edelstein, yes.
And Vella, what was that second thing that did you say no diabetes at heart.org?
No Diabetes by Heart.org. It's an initiative that I'm a part of.
Okay.
And it's just a gateway to knowing how that if you have diabetes, it's a precursor. If you're not taking care of your diabetes, it's going to lead to heart disease and cardiovascular illnesses.
Okay.
So they bridge the gap to understand that what diabetes does in a body.
Okay, so
Because it robs you of your eye, it robs you of your limb, and eventually robs you of your life.
So what are the things you're taking away from this? You guys can put it in the chat. One of the things I'm taking away is that we need to have an event centered around Vella, number one. Vella, if you're willing. Don't want to put you on the spot. But also, what if Vella had not been introduced to this community? You know, where would she be? So that's on us, because you might not see all the ripple effect of, you know, you sharing, but we can go back and say, if Julie had not shared with me and Doug, and if I had not shared with Michelle in the parking lot of LA Fitness, and if Michelle had not shared with Sonia at a church trade show table event, and if Sonia had not shared with Tawana, because they're close, they're relatives, and if Tawana had not shared with Vella and got her to Michelle's event, where would Vella be? So, you know, not to put everything on Juice Plus, but Vella, I'm sure, is super thankful she's in this community. She's thriving. She's finding her voice. She's finding her passion. She's turning, you know, what happened to her into helping others. And so just know that you are the army out there making that ripple effect. And so that should give you motivation to get out there every day. You know?
And it isn't just Juice Plus, like she said. I mean, how many people are feeling like their life's better from hearing that story? I know I am.
Absolutely.
I'm inspired to make sure I read my chapters in Ornish today and call my mom. But the thing is, you know, how many times do we have conversations or lunch and learns about how to share Juice Plus and what do I say? And we deal with fear. And like Wendy Campbell would say, guys, you got to get over yourself at some point. It isn't about you. It is, I mean, it's so what if it's a little uncomfortable to go share? I mean, because you literally can change people's lives. You can save lives. So, I mean, I think it's an amazing mission that we're on, and it's good to think about. It's good to hear this stuff because it builds our confidence, but it should also motivate us to want to share with people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's really hard for me to transition to DMO now, to be honest, because that was really a full time already. But I would love to know what you guys want to talk about. Let's talk about that. And we can talk about DMO, but I feel like there might be other things that you want to address right now. And so put that in the chat. If there's something like you have a certain scenario with somebody, a question, I was going to go through getting to QSC. Is that something you want to hear about, or do you want to hear about DMO right now? Let's talk about that. Can you guys put that in the chat? What would you like to hear about right now? Nalani says DMO. DMO. All right. We'll go to DMO. Okay, so we've got 3 DMOs. We're going to go to DMO. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. You know, our resource is thefreedomrevolution.com. No, it's not Facebook. It is thefreedomrevolution.com. I've already pulled up the DMO little chart. How did I get there? I went to this. Okay, that's the index, the A through Z. When I don't want to try to figure out in my brain how they've organized it, I just go to the index because, you know, everybody's brain is different in how they organize a website. So I put in DMO and look here, DMO planner. So when we say DMO, some people say it's daily method of opportunity, daily method of operation, whatever you want to call it. It's just some structure to give you ideas, okay,
It's
of
how you work,
what
you
we do every day, you know, and to be able to spread ourselves out into different categories of people. So the lifeblood of our business is new, all right? I'm trying to make that bigger. New people. Mm-hmm. So always trying to reach out to new people. And if you don't have a lot of team, more than 2 new people would be good, especially if you have big goals, you know, and that's the thing. So you have to determine who are your 2 new people a day. And you could use this as a diary. That's how I like to use it better. But some people like to use this on Sunday night to plan their week. They're going to say, on Monday, I'm going to call this person. And you can, especially also if you have a customer base, you know, then you might plan it out Sunday. So the new or memory jogger people are who you reach out to. So a memory jogger is just writing free for all. Who all do I know? Who do I know from this job I had, where I used to live, my mom's friends, my friends, you know. It's good to have a list. And then go into the memory jogger and say, oh, I'm going to call Aunt Mary on Monday. I'm going to call my friend Tina on Tuesday. I'm going to call whoever on Wednesday. So then you can plan out your week like that. So new people are the lifeblood. You can't go full throttle hammer and think they're going to say yes to Juice Plus right away. You've got to start the conversation. It's a conversation. It's not a sale. All right. And so what is our goal of the conversation? To have eyeballs on the presentation. Whether it's an event or a video, eyeballs on the presentation. It really, our job is not done unless they do, because the presentation or the video is going to tell the whole story from A to B to C to D of, hey, we think we're healthy, but we're really not. You know, we need to, like, lots of fruits and vegetables, blah, blah, blah. Juice Plus is a great solution. So those types of things bring them through that whole process. So, and we can call them. We can say, hey, Aunt Mary, can you chat on Monday? I'd love to share with you what I'm so excited about, you know? Or, you know, you could schedule a friends and family call, of course, but this is kind of looking at who am I going to talk to each day? How am I going to build my business? And that way you have some kind of structure. A lot of times when people move to a home-based business, they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm so distracted. This can really help you. Then, you know, because you've shared with 2 people a day, you're now going to have follow-ups to do. So you could say, is this a good time to talk? And they say yes or no. If it's not a good time to talk, you get off the phone. Okay, you say, oh my goodness, I don't want to interfere. I'm going to call you back later. Is 7 or 8 o'clock tonight good? Is 9 o'clock good? You know, I'm awake at all different hours. And then later you say, hey, I'm so excited that you watched that video or you got to see that presentation. What did you like best about it? Or what did you think, you know? Leaving like an open-ended question. And then eventually you're listening, you're asking questions, you're delving deeper. You know, hey, just wanted to see if Juice Plus makes sense to you. I personally have been taking it for this amount of time. It's been great for my family. I love it as a tool to bridge that gap. You know, you could throw in your own stuff in there when you ask that. And then you silence. Silence brings conversation. You have to be comfortable with silence. You've got to ask a question, let them answer it. Don't start answering because you're uncomfortable. All right. And then, you know, after they've kind of convinced themselves, basically that's what you're doing. You're helping them to reconcile and convince themselves because they know they don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. Hardly anybody does. Then you say, hey, well, I'd love to help you get started. Are you ready to get started? Silence. Okay. You've got to let them talk. That's where you're going to really get somewhere. All right. 2 customers. So this is like a daily plan. You talk to 2 new people. You follow up with 2 people that you've talked to before. So you might have them on your calendar. You might have talked to them 2 days ago. You might have talked to them 2 weeks ago. But now you're going to follow up with 2 people at least. All right. If you have customers, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to really reach out to these 2 people. I'm going to make them know I'm thinking of them. I'm going to think, oh yeah, they need that Complete Creations book. Or, hey, I don't know if you're in our customer group. Maybe you'd like to join that. Hey, I don't know if you know about the Add More Good. I think you told me about your daughter who might be interested in Juice Plus. This is a great time for her and her son to get on Juice Plus. She'll get a free bag of shake. So just really thinking, you know, this business is about thinking and coaching yourself and really thinking next steps for people. What would be a good next step for that particular person? And so, you know, do that with 2 people. And you can also say, hey, I don't know if it's for you right now or not. I just want to let you know I'm going to be doing this basically for the rest of my life. This is a great community. And you can do a little or a lot, but I know you've been sharing Juice Plus. I would love for you to just maybe entertain learning more about that and how you can offset your cost or how you can then buy more Juice Plus groceries. I know you've been wanting, you know, the Tower Garden or the Omega or whatever. You know, throw out what you know about them. That's part of the conversation. You throw out what you do know and you ask a question, you know, a possible next step for that person. You can send a business video. I really don't. I'd rather do a connection call. Hey, I'd love for you to talk to my friend, whoever. Or, hey, let's get in a chat together on Facebook Messenger. I'd love for you to just hear my friend or whatever, or on Voxer even. But you can send a business video if you found the one that you like. You can even send the Got Fruits and Veggies video, which has all about the products, and then it has about the business, and it has our people on there, you know, which is great. Then the last category is team. Reach out to 2 team a day. And if you don't have team, that should make you think, I need to get 2 team, you know, so that I can reach out to team every day and say, hey, just want to make sure that, you know, this is happening, or, hey, I want you to have a welcome call with our national marketing director, things like that. All right, so I'm only going to go over that for right now. That is the 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. When somebody says something like that, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, that is so you hit on all those categories: new, follow-up, customer, team. Okay, so I want to call on, and they don't know they're being called on. Watch out, guys. Sorry, that's what I do, because I don't want to be the only one talking. Number 1, Cynthia invited to an event the other night. I know Michelle's laughing. Like, sorry, Cynthia, I can't keep picking on you because you're so good. Cynthia, you invited to the 10 o'clock Eastern, she's in Eastern time, 3 people to the Got Fruits and Veggies event. So, you know, how did that go? That's part of the 2 new, right? The 2 new, because I think they were all new. They weren't customers, right?
No, they were not.
So what did you say? You know, because they love you. They wanted to know what you do probably, or why you're so excited. What did you say to them to get them on there?
Well, actually, I had originally invited them to the beauty event. And then they texted me and they told me, oh, no, I won't be able to make it. And I'm like, that's perfect, because I have another event for you at 10 o'clock. Make sure you jump on. That's what I did.
So it was all 3 of them?
All 3 of them. It was crazy. All 3 of them.
All right. So how did you invite them to the beauty event? Did you use Facebook, or did you personally message them?
I messaged them.
Okay. So sometimes it's event to event to event that we're inviting. That's how we touch base with people. That's how we change our conversation, right? So personally, what did you say to them?
I told them, I don't remember exactly what I said. I said, there's going to be a great event about beauty from the inside out. I think it's going to be very interesting. I've never been to that one before, so I'm excited. And I think you would too, since we're all about being beautiful, but we need to understand that beauty is from the inside out. So I think that's something that you would really enjoy being a part of.
That's good. So you used your own excitement and how you felt about getting on that event. That's awesome. Okay, so did anybody else have a great time getting somebody on an event lately, and they could share how they got that person on an event? Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
I'm doing all that.
Okay. Like, who wrote that? Doug. Okay. So Nalani said, I like that you use a very natural and conversational approach.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So that would be 2 new prospects. She went for 3 that day or more. Who knows? Now, I didn't ask her though. How did you follow up? Did you follow up, Cynthia?
I did. I one of them, I text them, I'm like, whenever you get a chance, call me back and let me know what really stayed in your mind or what got your attention from whatever you heard. I would love to talk about it. So I did that yesterday. So I'm waiting. I said today, if I don't hear, I would probably try to call them again or something. So I did that yesterday.
That's great.
And it's really important to think all of these things in terms of a system. You'll hear us talk about systems sometimes, because as Cynthia follows the system, as she brings on new team members, as you bring on new team members, it could be overwhelming. Like, how do I teach my new person what to do? Well, there's a system in place. Hey, let's take a look at this DMO form. And then you can talk through it just like Sharon did just now. So it's all there. And it's important to follow the system. And that's the cool thing about the game we just did. The game, there was point values attached to talking to new people and follow-ups and all this stuff. So it really challenged us to be doing the right things. And that DMO form, if you do that, and you really do, we used to call it a 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Or if you want to go faster, you can do a 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. You know, that's the different types of people to talk to. You know, you're going to see that consistent behavior is going to really give you results.
Okay, Nalani, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I love the way she assumed that they had gone. So that's what I always, I'm telling my new people when I'm training is that the way to follow up, if they had said they were going to come, you had already said, if I send you an invitation, would you come? And even if they don't show up, I always say, wasn't that great? How did you like that? Tell me what was your favorite part? You know, what did you like the best? And that's what Cynthia did. And so even if they didn't show up, they're going to feel like, oh, I said I was going to show up. Well, I'm sorry I didn't make it this time. And then, of course, it's no big deal. It's okay. When will you have time? So if we are confident that we have something great and that they're going to like it, and we can from our heart share that. And when we follow up, wasn't that great? And expect that a whole lot of them might say, oh, I didn't make it. That's okay, because that gives us the opportunity to invite them again.
So what I try to do, I 15 minutes before the event, I usually text everybody that had already invited. I would say, we're on in 15 minutes. Hope I can see you there. And then usually when the event is on, I'll check to see if my people are on. And if they're not on, I'm like, oh, you didn't make it. During the event, I'm texting people, you're not in there yet, to let them know that I'm actually looking out to see if they're there. And then if
That's good.
oh, I'm sorry, Cynthia. I'm like, okay. And I'll get back to them after the event. Like on Zoom, I usually check to see if I have people on. I check to see when did you log on? When do you log on? So I could use that as a conversation with you.
Okay, good. All right. We'll take a couple more comments, and then I'll just give you another thing to maybe do for homework,
If there's a recording, would you send them a recording afterwards of the event if they weren't able to make it?
Is that for Cynthia?
Yeah, or for anybody.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
If they didn't make the event, but you know that the event was recorded, would you ask them if they'd like to see the recording? Would you send them the recording?
I have done that, yes. I would ask them, oh, but guess what? Like I've told one person, you're lucky because there's a recording to it. I would love to change it, send it to you. I've done that too.
Yeah. I mean, just personally, I think this is probably for another conversation, but my thing is that I'm good at inviting people. Dr. Dubois comes, or Mitra Ray, whatever comes to California, I invite. I mean, I get 15 people to go. I do events in my house. I get 23 people to come, but I lose it on the follow-up. I don't know. I'm not. That's my weakness is the follow-up, and I lose it there.
Since we're talking about events, Elaine, do you want to go ahead?
I'm just agreeing with her.
Oh.
But I'm going to change that.
Okay, so I'll just tell you what I kind of learned before is personal, persistent, and practical. Those are the 3 P's for inviting to an event. So you want to be persistent in your follow, lovingly persistent, like Cynthia was. She's saying, I'm going on in 15 minutes. Can't wait to see you on there. She had already invited them. Then she's like, oh my gosh, I don't see you on there. So it's kind of like if you imagine you're meeting somebody at a movie theater, okay? Like next Saturday. You're going to talk about it a little bit, but as it gets closer, you're like, hey, did you bring a sweater? Hey, I'll meet you. We'll buy some popcorn and soda. Hey, where do you want to do, like the middle section? So as you get closer to that event, you got to make it more real. People are, I've been invited to things, and if somebody's not following up with me and making it more real and like they're looking for me and personalizing it to me, I'm not going to go on there, because I'll just think, whatever. If I don't really see value, or I don't have that relationship with somebody that's really like wondering, am I going to show up? And maybe even using guilt, because I'm definitely lured by guilt. If you guys want to guilt me into anything, I'll go. So, that probably plays into some other people too. But, you know, pretend like you're going to the movies with somebody. How much would you talk to them about that, you know? Hey, is it this movie theater? Which movie do you want to see? Blah, blah, blah. So that's just kind of an example, but you want to show them that there's something practical to walk away with. You want to give them a little, you know, what's going to be personally practical for them. Keep it personal, like they're your buddy and you're inviting them. And then persistence. Persistence will always win in this business. When I made it to National Marketing Director, I said it was persistence and consistency, those two. I didn't bring anything else to the table but that. Consistency and persistence, and that will get you there, you know? So just remember that when you're inviting people, and just know that they do. I mean, we bring a lot of value. They're gonna love it once they get there. We just gotta get them. All right, so the homework is for you guys to go to thefreedomrevolution.com, print the DMO planner, see what you can do with it. You know, why not use that as a tool for the business? There we go, Diane's showing hers. And go ahead and start, you know, using that as a little jogger for you. If you don't have a memory jogger, make a list. Who would you like? Just free for all, 30 minutes. Just write down everybody you know. It doesn't mean that you're gonna like shoot them a text today or anything, or maybe not even in a whole year, but you've got them on a list that you've dumped your brain onto a list. And that's really what a memory jogger is. All right, guys, have an awesome day, and we'll see you later. We'll see you tomorrow at 12. Yes, thank you, Vella. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have so.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That was
Bella, so
awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Go out and share in Bella's name.
You're awesome.
Amazing, Bella. Thank you.
Thank you.